Black Americans are now clamoring for reparations, pointing to the historical scars of slavery and Jim Crow as their justification. They argue that Japan received compensation for internment, Native Americans get their trickle of taxpayer dollars for past dispossession, and Israel enjoys a steady stream of financial penance for the sins of others. Why not them? It's a fair question superficially, but let's peel back the layers of this onion and see what's really cooking in the pot of grievance. The reality is, Black Americans have already been handed a buffet of benefits carved out of the guilt-ridden carcass of the American psyche. Affirmative action tilts the job market in their favor. Grant money flows like a river into disadvantaged hands. College admissions bend over backwards to rewrite the sins of the past, and a sprawling network of social programs fueled by the taxpayers' sweat caters to every conceivable need. This isn't charity, it's the guilt industrial complex, a machine that churns out entitlement faster than it can print apologies. And yet the beggar's hand, once outstretched in supplication, is clenched into an iron fist of resentment, pounding the table for more. Here's the truth: the social parasite doesn't thrive on gratitude, it feeds on grievance. Give it a crumb, and it demands the bakery hand it all the gold and Fort Knox, and it'll sneer, call it pocket lint, and ask why you get enthralled in the vault too. It's a psychological hunger, not a material one. You could deepen the deed to the planet, every continent, every ocean, every star in the sky, and they'd still shrug, call it chump change, and complain the paperwork was late. Why? Because the game isn't about justice, it's about power. It's about flipping the script from please help me to you owe me, and then watching the indebted scramble to pay a debt that can never be settled. Picture this: you're in the woods feeding a hungry bear. You toss in your last scrap of food and say, that's all I've got. The bear doesn't nod or lumber off satisfied. No, it looks at you, licks its chops and growls, you're still here, I'm still hungry. That's the dynamic at play. The more you give, the more insatiable appetite becomes. Not because the food's insufficient, but because the bear's learned that you'll keep digging into your pockets if it keeps baring its teeth. And so the cycle spins on. Guilt begets generosity, generosity begets entitlement, and entitlement begets resentment. All the while, the social engineers clap from the sidelines, delighted at the chaos they've sown. This isn't about history, it's about human nature. The past is just the battering ram, the real target is the present. Slavery ended over 150 years ago. Jim Crow's been dead for generations, but the grievance lives on, immortal because it's useful. It's a lever to pry open the treasury, a whip to flog the conscience, a cudgel to silence dissent. But the irony, the ones demanded